So today's evening with Srila Prabhupada's Vani is about fearlessness, and we will look at the category from Vanipedia, and Vanipedia is encyclopedia of Srila Prabhupada's teachings. So for the past 11 years or 12 years, devotees are working on this. Like about 500-600 devotees were working on this. And they have compiled 14,000 categories. And now, actually, they are ambitious to do it in many languages. I mean, you can't have everything in many languages, but you can have something. And of course, they have this 1,080 videos, which is like overview of all Krishna conscious philosophy in 1,080 videos. It's about maybe 6 to 10 minutes long, each video. And these videos are excerpts from Srila Prabhupada's lectures. And they have transcriptions. They have transcriptions also of this what Prabhupada said. There is a transcript, and in many languages now they have done all 1,080 videos. And in German, I think
they're still working.
They're still working on it. They didn't finish. Spanish is finished, Italian is finished, Croatian is finished, English is original. I think also Iran, different, there's more. So this is like a few lifetimes project, and I told Vishnumurti Prabhu he has to get born again to finish this. We want to finish this. So in the time of danger, like nowadays we have a time of danger and people are dying, or maybe it's only propaganda, we don't know if it's true. But in any case, the threat of death is always there, every moment of the day. And they have compiled from all teachings, and if you want to research only books, you can look at only books. If you want to research only conversations and letters, it's also one page. Only lectures, Srimad Bhagavatam, cantos 1 to 4, Srimad Bhagavatam, cantos 5 to 12. It's all about fearlessness. And the phrases that were researched are fearless, fearlessly, fearlessness, fearfulness, fearfulness, fearfulness. It says fearfulness, I think it should be fearfulness. So 3-5 keywords were researched, but the basis is, the root is fearless. And do we have third canto here? No? I think I was asking for the third canto last week.
Do you want it now?
323, 23rd chapter. There is this verse that I would like to read. It's from Devahuti. Or maybe I can find it here also. Now it works fast. So I go here. Okay, so database. Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, better, I don't know if he can find it, but better I wait for him. So Devahuti was talking to Kardama Muni after they married and they spent time together, and she was living with him in a very austere environment in the forest. But then she wanted, I can't remember, they decided to enjoy, and then he asked her to take a bath in the lake and to prepare herself for a better life, not living in the forest.
We need to count to 3.
Yes, but I will see. I will get it from you if he doesn't bring the book.
Okay.
Thank you. It's chapter 23, 3:23, 51.
3:23:51.
Chapter 23 and text 51.
Okay.
Does this pen drive belong to anybody?
Then it was already there since Saturday.
This belongs to Nidamara.
Ah, okay.
You didn't get it?
No, I don't think so. You said chapter
23.
33? Then maybe it's in there.
Oh, it must be in one of these two. Yeah, it's here.
Okay, because I couldn't find the first part.
No, I don't need first part. 23 is in the third part.
Okay, I missed the 3.
Oh, very nice. Devahuti Ruvacha Sarvam Tad Bhagavan Mahyam Upavaha Pratishrutam Atapi Me Prapanaya Abhayam Datu Marhasi. Sri Devahuti said, My Lord, you have fulfilled all the promises you gave me, yet because I am your surrendered soul, you should give me fearlessness too. Translation. Sri Devahuti said, My Lord, you have fulfilled all the promises you gave me. Purport. Devahuti requested her husband to grant her something without fear. As a wife, she was a fully surrendered soul to her husband, and it is the responsibility of the husband to give his wife fearlessness. How one awards fearlessness to his subordinate is mentioned in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. One who cannot get free from the clutches of death is dependent, and he should not become a spiritual master, nor a husband, nor a kinsman, nor a father, nor a mother, etc. It is the duty of the superior to give fearlessness to the subordinate. To take charge of someone, therefore, either as father, mother, spiritual master, relative, or husband, one must accept the responsibility to give his ward freedom from the fearful situation of material existence. So ward means one who is under the protection of someone. Material existence is always fearful and full of anxiety. Devahuti is saying, You have given me all sorts of material comforts by your yogic power, and since you are now prepared to go away, you must give me your last award so that I may get free from this material condition of life. So it says here that it is the duty of the superior to give fearlessness to the subordinate, and it is said that, for example, that if you accept service from someone, you need to give them something back, something in return. Once, one Prabhu, a senior devotee, came to me, and so I was sharing with him how to do coaching, and we went through the whole manual, and We spent maybe 2 hours together. And then at the end, he said, if you receive knowledge, you should give dakshin. So he gave me a check for 100 pounds. And he's senior Prabhupada disciple. And it is said that if spiritual master receives service from disciple, he should give him instruction. He should give him good instruction. And sometimes we see if a guru has many disciples, then he's not able actually to personally give instruction to every disciple. But he is giving instructions to his lectures, and they are relevant for everyone. And his senior disciples can take care also of disciples, of his other disciples. And sometimes spiritual master is not receiving any service, any personal service from disciple. Of course, if disciples are engaged in the mission, then they help his mission. But sometimes disciples help with the publishing of the books of the guru, or publishing of Srila Prabhupada's books, which is also a guru's mission, a part of guru's mission. So there always has to be reciprocation between someone, the subordinate, and subordinate here actually it means one who is under the protection of the other, or who is a dependent, like dependents of children, or wife is a dependent of a husband, she depends on the husband, then maybe a disciple is a dependent of a guru, or employees are dependents of a director, of a boss. So there is dependence, and every leader, every responsible person has to somehow give fearlessness. And how can one give fearlessness to people when we are all going to die? We will all going to die, so how can you give fearlessness to anybody? How can you guarantee that they will not die? But one can give fearlessness by giving transcendental knowledge, and by giving encouragement to develop Krishna consciousness and to connect with God. The only fearlessness can come from God. The only courage can come from God. So the greatest gift, matchless gift, is Krishna consciousness. So let us see what Srila Prabhupada said in some of the quotes from this category of Vanipedia, what he says about fearlessness. Abhayam means fearlessness. So long we are not connected in Krishna consciousness, or not connected with the Supreme Lord, we shall always be fearful. Fearful is one of the qualifications of the conditioned soul. So state of fear is one of the qualities. It's one of the qualities of conditioned souls. Conditioned souls are always fearful. So conditioned state is full of fear because people identify with the body, and body will be destroyed. Body will be destroyed. Another source of fear for conditioned souls is pain, physical suffering, pain, and they are afraid of this also. After inquiring about proper self-knowledge from the son of Vyasadeva, who will be a great philosopher, he will renounce all material attachment and achieve a life of fearlessness. I think this refers to Maharaj Parikshit. So, how can one achieve life of fearlessness? How can one become fearless? By renouncing all material attachments. So, giving up. Renouncing means giving up. Giving up material attachments. Although Prahlad is very near to me, Hiranyakashipu is merely a child. He is situated in complete fearlessness. Now, one of the descriptions in Sanskrit of Prahlad Maharaj is that he's called Akutobaya. Akutobaya. So that means he is fearless. He is devoid of fear. And his father, who is the greatest demon, and so many people, so many demigods and demons are afraid of him, but he sees that his son is not afraid of him, and he is only 5 years old. And Prahlad Maharaj was fearless due to his Krishna consciousness. And he knew that Lord is, he had a full faith in God. So fearlessness is very much connected to courage. Fearlessness is connected to faith. Someone who has great faith in God, he can be really fearless. As you're engaged actually in spiritual life, you won't feel fatigued. You'll be fearless, and your life will be always blissful. These are the symptoms. Because the Lord is all-powerful, it is possible for Him to adjust opposites such as birth and no birth, power and defeat, fear and fearlessness. A pure devotee knows very well how it is possible for the Lord to adjust opposite things. Birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy are created by me alone. Bhagavad Gita 10:4 and 5. So Krishna has created both fear and fearlessness. Deathlessness, fearlessness, and freedom from the anxieties of old age and disease exist in the kingdom of God, which is beyond the 3 higher planetary systems and beyond the material coverings. There is no fear in the spiritual world. Everyone can become a fearless and honest person if his very existence is purified by discharging the prescribed duty for each and every order of life. So Varnashram system is also a way to develop fearlessness. Everyone can become a fearless and honest person. This is a very nice goal, to become fearless and to become honest. He, Yudhishthir, had no dependence on his brothers, who had all along been helping him. This stage of complete independence from everything is also called the purified stage of fearlessness. He is eternally void of all disturbances and fearless. His complete consciousness as opposed to matter, uncontaminated and without distinctions, he is the principal primeval cause of all causes and effects. So, Krishna is fearless. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, having received the boon that they would not be killed by any other living entity within this universe, were almost immortal, and thus they were completely fearless. So demons can be fearless also. In the world of duality, everyone is envious of all others, and death is inevitable due to the dual existence of matter and spirit. The Lord is the only shelter of fearlessness for the surrendered soul. So only one who is really connected to the Lord, who really has faith in the Lord, only such person can be actually fearless. Every other person may be fearless based on the false ego for some time, but then again, they have no solution for death. And they have no solution for many other material phenomena. In your own heart, through your intellect, you will always see me the supreme self-effulgent soul dwelling within the hearts of all living entities. Thus, you will achieve the state of eternal life, free from all lamentation and fear. So one quality of a person who is fearless is that he sees the Lord everywhere. And that's why he is fearless, because he sees the God everywhere. He sees the Lord in the heart of every living entity. He understands that the Lord is present there and that the Lord is controlling everything. So, spiritual perception also helps fearlessness. And now, from this, also is a quote from this purport: it is the duty of the superior to give fearlessness to the subordinate. Lord Krishna was provided with all kinds of comforts and facilities available within the universe by the members of the Yadu dynasty. And in return, such servitors of the Lord were protected and fearless. So when one serves the Lord, when one provides all facilities for the Lord, then he protects them and he makes them fearless. So those who serve the Lord have nothing to fear. Many may claim that in the modern age, material scientists have helped increase agricultural yield. But we fearlessly proclaim that it is precisely such atheistic views that have brought the world to the present acute food crisis. My dear friend, who is this fearless young man? He is as bright as a lightning cloud, and he wanders in his pastimes like a maddened elephant. O demons, give up the so-called happiness of family life and simply take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Nishingadev, which are the actual shelter of fearlessness. So the lotus feet of the Lord, the lotus feet of Lord's incarnations, is the shelter of fearlessness. One can become fearless if one takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. O King, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of all material enjoyment. Okay, we will go in here. This is a very important verse. It is from the second canto. So those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of all material enjoyment, and also those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge. So constant chanting brings fearlessness. If one is chanting constantly, he can become fearless. Here we have seen the mention of three types of people. Especially offenseless chanting can bring one fearlessness. Offenseless chanting. Just go to the end of the purport. Please, Lord Nishingadev, appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. So the more one is free from ignorance, the more one is free from fear also. Because fear comes from ignorance. Because the soul has nothing to fear except illusion, except from illusion. Because the soul is eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss, and always connected to the Lord. So there is nothing to fear. The existence of the soul can be perfect. Roaring tumultuously and fearlessly like lions, these invincible demons, all dressed in golden ornaments, gave pain to the demigods with weapons like clubs, bludgeons, arrows, barbed darts, mallets, and lances. The demons can be fearless also, but they are fearless in attaining their self-purification. Sannyasi must be situated in fearlessness, purity, and knowledge. Spiritual life is so sublime and so invigorating that you won't feel fatigued. You have to be engaged, as soon as you're engaged actually in spiritual life, you won't feel fatigued. You'll be fearless. Now, Shukadeva Goswami is talking to Maharaj Parikshit. My dear king, if you want to be fearless in meeting your death next week, for actually everyone is afraid at the point of death, then you must immediately begin the process of hearing and chanting and remembering God. So if you want to get free from the fear of death, then hearing and chanting, which we are doing every day, will help us. And when there is a description of divine nature in the Bhagavad Gita, the first quality of a divine nature is fearlessness. Chapter 16, texts 1 to 3 in the Bhagavad Gita. The first is fearlessness, abhayam. The great sages and saints are promoted beyond the heavenly planets to Maharloka, but that also is not the place of complete fearlessness, because at the end of one kalpa, the Maharloka is annihilated and the inhabitants have to transport themselves to other planets. The Lord, who had appeared from the nostril of Brahma, sprang and aimed his mace at the chin of his enemy, the Hiranyaksha demon, who was stalking fearlessly before him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the controller of immortality and fearlessness, and he is transcendental to death and the fruitive actions of the material world. So Krishna can give us fearlessness. If we are Krishna conscious and if we are connected to him, he can give us fearlessness. The surrendered souls are called Akutobaya. They are doubtless and fearless, and their entrance into the spiritual kingdom is guaranteed. So to be Akutobaya, to be completely fearless, one has to be surrendered soul. And here it's mentioned they're doubtless and fearless. So when one doubtless means one has great faith, no doubts. So doubtless, faith and fearlessness here are actually connected. Doubtless and fearless, these two are connected. One who has no doubts has no fear. One who is convinced about the protection of the Lord has no fear. Then Ramachandra Puri was so foolish that he fearlessly dared to instruct his spiritual master. Now here we see when it is foolish to be fearless. You can be foolishly fearless. It means fearless based on the false ego. There is a whole story, but we don't have time to discuss this now. But this is actually an example where one should not be fearless. So when we look at different quotes, we can see the same point or the same quality from different angles of vision. This again is an instance of the conjunction of two opposing elements. The child was very fearless, but at the same time Yashoda was becoming fearful of some danger. Here danger is the cause, and Yashoda's feelings are in conjunction of two opposing symptoms. Krishna was in danger. He was fearless. This taking of sannyas should not be a whimsical proposition and should not be an excuse for becoming irresponsible. No responsibility of grihastha, brahmachari, etc. Sannyasis also have great responsibility to become fearless preachers. To award fearlessness to the common man is the greatest act of charity. Okay, so now this is connected to our verse that we read and to the purport. The greatest act of charity, that means the greatest gift that one can give to anybody is fearlessness. And how can we give fearlessness to people? We can give fearlessness to people by giving them Krishna consciousness and by helping them to connect to Krishna. By giving them the holy name and Srila Prabhupada's books. So to award fearlessness to the common man is the greatest act of charity. To become nirguna means to achieve eternal peace, fearlessness, religiousness, knowledge, and renunciation. All these are symptoms of becoming free from the contamination of the material qualities. So fearlessness is one of the symptoms of being free from material qualities. Nirguna, no more material qualities. When everyone offered respect to Krishna by standing up, Shishupal remained in his seat. But as he became angrier at Krishna's being honored, he stood up suddenly, raised his hand, and spoke very strongly and fearlessly against Lord Krishna. So Shishupal was envious that Krishna was receiving so much respect, so much glorification, but he was also foolishly fearless because he didn't know that he is going to get in trouble if he picked a quarrel with Krishna. So these are some of the quotes that are available here in the Vanipedia, and we have seen from different angles of vision. And in a situation where there is a threat of death for many people, or at least the propaganda is such, then people become fearful. And even devotees become fearful to some extent. So, for us, this situation is an opportunity to become more serious in Krishna consciousness, to become more serious in chanting, to become more serious in preaching and helping people, and becoming more loving person, opening our heart. Now, some people say there are two predominant emotions that human beings have, and one is fear and one is love. And now this situation is stimulating the development of fear. And many people have fear instead of having love. And when the threat of existence comes, people forget about love, forget about compassion. They just want to survive, and they are ready to kill others to get money or to get food, just to survive physically. But someone who is in higher consciousness, he doesn't see like this. And he's not afraid for his physical survival, he is actually afraid for his spiritual survival. He is afraid for his spiritual survival. And that means he is afraid that he doesn't lose high consciousness. He doesn't lose higher consciousness. So probably you have experienced that sometimes you're thinking, what will happen to me? Will I survive? Will I have a place to stay? Will I have something to eat? And will God help me? Well, we shall see what will be the situation. But we are ready for anything, and we never give up. We are ready for anything and never give up serving Krishna, trying to serve, chanting the holy name. So this is also, I would say, a good motto for any kind of relationship. Like, if you love someone, you can have this approach that you have to be ready for anything, because anything can happen. Tomorrow they can become your enemy, the person you love. Or they can fall in love with somebody else. They can leave you at any moment. So you have to be ready for anything. But also, don't give up. Don't give up your loving attitude. Don't give up your service attitude. Don't give up the relationship if it gets tough or if there is disagreement. It's easy to go away from the relationship. But those who understand why it is good to stay in the relationship, even if it's sometimes difficult, why it's good for them to stay in the relationship, even if it's sometimes difficult, they don't give up, they continue, and they grow through this, they become stronger, they become more mature, and they understand that nothing is an accident. And slowly they become fearless, because if they don't give up, it is said, if you give up during training, you will give up during competition. If you give up during military training, you will give up during the war. In the war, you will run away. So therefore, some military institutions have a very, very strict training, very severe training, because these soldiers, they can face so many dangerous situations, and some of them get scared, some of them see that somebody is dying and things. They have to be mentally strong, physically strong, they have to be ready for anything. So similarly in life, we have to be ready for anything. But in order to be ready for anything, one has to become a little detached and understand, I have no idea what will happen tomorrow, so I have to be ready for everything, anything. And Krishnadharma Prabhu, one devotee preacher, Grihastha, from England, he has some amazing quotes. He said, if you don't want anything, you have no fear. Because you have no fear, you are not afraid that you will lose anything. If you don't want anything, you have no fear. So one way to become fearless is actually to give up all material desires. I will read you some of his quotes. I have published them recently. In few words, he is able to say really amazing things. Okay, faith has no fear. So one who has faith has no fear. Again, connected to fearlessness. Remember, it's all temporary, but you are eternal. If we don't change our consciousness, things will only get worse. So sometimes you cannot change the circumstances, but you can change the way you see them. And this is why we are discussing every evening, so that we can see this situation, which people don't know how to understand this situation. Like people who believe in God, they are wondering, why is God allowing this to happen? I mean, so people are dying and everything is stopped. So we are trying to understand from the scriptures what is happening and why it is happening, and to actually be clear and not be confused. When you want nothing, you fear nothing. So you fear, you don't fear you will lose anything. And we are always afraid, shall I get this, shall I lose this, shall I get this person, shall I lose this person, shall I get this money, shall I lose this money? Like Srila Prabhupada says, rich people are afraid that somebody will steal their riches. And poor people are afraid that they will starve, and they're afraid that they will never have money. So everyone is full of fear. Okay, so do you have any questions? We can have a discussion, maybe 10 minutes. Yes?
What about the fear of losing the connection or the relationship with Krishna?
That's a very founded and very valid fear. We should be afraid to lose relationship or connection or remembrance of Krishna. We should be afraid. And we should be afraid not to fall in illusion and to be attracted by the material world. Boga Ishvarya Prasaktanam, Taya Bhakta Chetasam, Vyavasayatmika Buddhir, Samado Navidiyate. Find it in the Bhagavad Gita in the index of Sanskrit verses. Boga Ishvarya Prasaktanam. Index of Sanskrit verses is at the end. Find that verse and read the translation. Bhoga, B-H, B-H-O, Bhoga Ishvarya Prasaktanam. Index of Sanskrit verses. So we have very nice students here. We have very nice students here. They are able to find verses very quickly. Bhoga Ishvarya Prasaktanam, Taya Bhakta Chetasam, Vyavasayatmika Buddhir, Samadana Vidiyate.
Im Geist derer, die zu sehr an Sinngenuss und materiellem Reichtum haften und die durch solche Dinge verwirrt sind, kommt es nicht zu dem festen Entschluss, dem höchsten Herrn in Hingabe zu dienen.
In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and to some material appearance, and who are bewildered by such things, their resolute determination for devotional service for the Supreme Lord does not take place.
This is very like picturesque. Picturesque means vivid, means like a very graphic thing, very graphic verse. You find yourself, standing in front of maybe a shop, window shop, and there is a big ice cream there. But you went to the civil books, so you are thinking, shall I enjoy the ice cream or shall I continue serving Krishna and taking prasad in the temple? So one who is bewildered by the offer of sense gratification by Maya, he doesn't have this, as it said here, resolute determination. He doesn't have resolute determination. He is not convinced 100% that this is the way to be happy. But he thinks, maybe still I can try to enjoy a little material enjoyment because Maya is offering me some enjoyment. Maybe I should try to enjoy. So there is no resolute determination. There is no strong determination. And one is going up and down. He wants a little bit self-gratification, but a little bit devotional service. So this is a very shaky level, or how to say, stage, very shaky stage. It's not steady stage. And on a steady stage, one is convinced. Yes.
Prabhuji, in case I am very interested to eat that ice cream, so if immediately I will purchase and I will offer to Krishna and I will eat it. How we can see that one, that intense propensity.
But better to eat ice cream prepared by devotees. And maybe there is eggs in this ice cream or some other ingredients that are not good. So you can eat ice cream when you come back to the temple. Ice cream is not forbidden. But for example, you can be determined not to eat anything from outside. Sometimes you have to eat something from outside, but that you prefer to eat in the temple. And devotees sometimes eat all kinds of things and go to restaurants and it's vegetarian, but you never know what's inside. Here at least the devotees are careful. They are careful what they put inside. So it's risky to eat outside. If you're sure that the ingredients that you buy are bona fide, then you can offer them and you can take. And then if you're hungry, then you continue with your service, with your book distribution or whatever you are doing outside, you can continue. So this is not bad if you do like that. But you always know this will affect my consciousness. This will affect my consciousness. If I eat the food from this, it will influence my consciousness. My consciousness anyway is not so good, so high. So now if I eat food prepared by people with lower consciousness, it will affect my consciousness. Okay? Anything else? In relation to fear or fearlessness? Who is not afraid to ask a question about fearlessness?
So maybe we have some people on Facebook some questions.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's nice. You remember, it's a good...
Hello, people on Facebook. Do you have some questions? You can write in the comments.
Very nice.
Just read by a book.
I'm not live here, but you are live there.
Yeah. No.
Okay, for now we have no questions. Yes?
How does the false ego relate to fearlessness?
That's an interesting question. So we see that the demons have a big false ego and they are fearless. But this one who has a false ego, his fearlessness is foolish. Yeah, foolish fearlessness. Stupid fearlessness.
Because they try to undergo a lot of tapasya
Also,
of material.
very strong. They're very strong.
Um,
But their motive is wrong. Their motive is wrong. Their motive is to enjoy this world, to be the masters of this world, to become powerful so they can control this world. So their motive is wrong. But the devotee is fearless in a different way. He is fearless in the service of the Lord. And he is fearless because he knows he is protected by the Lord. He is not protected by his own power. And this is what also fascinated me when I read the Bhagavatam in the first canto, and you see Arjuna. It says when Krishna left, Arjuna lost his power. He is such a great warrior, but he was not able to protect these women. There was women, he wasn't able to protect them. And so now the material concept of a hero is that he is all powerful, but the spiritual concept of a hero, he can be powerful only with the empowerment from God. And that God is behind his power, not his own power. And Krishna says that he empowers different living entities, but those who are on the false ego, like demons, they actually get empowered to do, like, amazing things, but they are proud and they think that this is their credit, that this is my credit, this is my power, my intelligence, my ability. And devotee doesn't think like that. Krishna says, I'm the ability in man. Paurusham nishu. Shabdake paurusham nishu. I'm the ability in man. And devotee is aware of that. And therefore when you praise the devotee, he says, thank you, but it's not my credit. It's my spiritual master's credit. It's Krishna's credit. And without them, I would be nothing. Without them, I would be nothing. So thank you for your appreciation, but it's not my credit. It's their credit. And the demons, they're proud. You know, football players, when they score, they look like this. Or they show the number, it's my number, or that's me, or my name. They're very proud. But some football players, when they score, they do like this. They thank God. They're more God conscious. Or there is this Serbian tennis player.
Djokovic?
Yeah. After every win, he thanks God. After every win, he thanks God. Very few do this. Almost, I have never seen that anybody. So he always thanks God. And he also was interviewed by one devotee, by Jai Shetty, a famous motivational speaker. They became friends. He sent a message about coronavirus to people that he's praying for everybody, because he cares about the whole world. So he's praying for everybody, for everybody's protection. So he's like an Orthodox Christian or something like that. Maybe he's more like not fanatical Orthodox Christian, but broad-minded. Yes.
But I heard from devotees that he is practicing Krishna consciousness.
Devotees, you know, they are very enthusiastic. He's practicing some yoga, he's a vegan, he has a vegan restaurant. I don't know, maybe secretly, because, you know, it's a shame to be a Hare Krishna. So maybe secretly. But he is a good friend with one devotee, Jai Shetty. You know Jai Shetty? Initiated devotee from London. He's now living in Los Angeles, and he's a motivational speaker. He has the most views. He has 2 billion views on all social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. 2 billion views. He's #1 person on Facebook, and he's a Hare Krishna devotee. And it's amazing. Still nobody starts to get on his case that he is a Hare Krishna, because his presentation is universal, he speaks about universal things, he doesn't present himself as Hare Krishna, but he is not afraid to go amongst devotees, devotee gathering or some public gathering, and say something. And he's not giving classes in the temple, but nobody is starting to get on his case that he's a Hare Krishna. It's amazing. Krishna controls everything, you know. And he is also quite fearless, he is quite bold, he goes everywhere, and he is also full of love. He's also a son of my friend, a devotee from Soho. His name is Ramcharan Prabhu. He's also a very nice devotee. He's in charge of money at Soho. Not treasurer, but financial controller. Not only treasurer, but more than that. Like, he's overseeing the whole money situation, and he's a professional accountant. So, devotees, they give credit to God for anything they can do. Okay, any last question? Have you seen these links that I sent you?
Yes.
Yes.
They were really helpful.
Yeah, actually one devotee philosopher who lives in Barcelona, he's from Macedonia, he sent me a link. If you want, maybe it would not easy for you to read, but it's about individuality from the Western philosophers, something. It will be maybe not easy to read, but it's something you can get a feel of what Western people say about individuality. But I sent you these links, and there is more links actually about individuality in Vanipedia. in the search, if you type individual, then you will get 10 links maybe.
Yeah, I already looked into it today. Many really good Bhagavatam, especially from the third canto.
Sankhya philosophy.
No, it was actually something related to also what you said about firm trust in the eternality of the soul.